evening and welcome to May 28th, 1941. That was a Wednesday, just like tonight. My name is Henry Chap, your host, and I will tell you what we are going to listen to tonight in just a little bit. If you enjoy the content of this channel, not only subscribe, but please donate to its upkeep. Because of the vintage radio, music, and films that we share, this channel does not qualify for YouTube monetization. Help motivate us to consistently post this wonderful content. We like to think that this channel is more interesting and entertaining than any other World War II channel on YouTube. Help us keep going by donating. In the expanded description section to this video, you will find two links for which to donate. One is for PayPal and the other is for a GoFundMe. If the GoFundMe link is outdated on this video, go to this channel's description or our latest video where you will find an updated link. Any little bit helps. I can't stress enough, clicking on that subscribe button, get us back into that Google algorithm where we were before. We used to be number one when you were looking up World War II old-time radio programs. Before my old channel got hacked, we had 27,000 subscribers. We were 27,000 strong. Let's get back to that once again. I would really appreciate it. All right, let me tell you what we're going to listen to tonight. We are going to listen to The Goldbergs, 2:15 in the afternoon over CBS. Then we're going to have the next consecutive adventure of the Adventures of Superman. 7:15 in the evening, syndicated program. It aired over WGN in Chicago. In New York, it aired over WOR, and in New York, it aired at 5:15 in the evening. And then we have the Lone Ranger, 7:30 in the evening over Mutual. And then at 8 o'clock over CBS, we have the Texaco Star Theater with Fred Allen. And the title of this episode tonight is The Great Studio Economy Wave. And then following Fred Allen, we have an interesting program. It's the first of 3 audition programs. I'll feature them, all 3 of them, eventually when we have a little bit of extra time. It's a program called I Want to Come Back. And what the gist is, it features different felons on there who want to get their lives back in order, and they interview them and they're looking for jobs. The first audition is kind of but as you the second and third get a little bit better, but you'll get to see the evolution of this program as they're trying to sell it to sponsors. So that'll be how we close it out tonight. I think you will find it fascinating. All right. Well, and also that's reality radio. We have reality TV here in 2022. That was reality radio back then. I don't think the program was ever sold to any sponsors. Let's turn on this old tube radio. That's our time machine. Let's give this stuff a listen.
And now the Goldbergs. The Goldberg car stands in the driveway before Allison's house, and the family is ready to leave. Inside the house, Mr. Allison has finally learned the last and final things that can be known about Sylvia, and he understands why Sammy doesn't want to marry her. And Allison is a little afraid of what Sylvia will do when she has nothing left in the world but her regrets. Molly is determined to take Sammy with her and leave as soon as he returns from his last meeting with the girl he loved, the girl he wanted to marry.
Jake?
Jake. Sammy's not back yet?
Not yet. He called. He said he'll be right back.
Where was he? Where did he call from?
He didn't say.
Then let's get our things and wait in the car.
All right, Jake.
I can't stand this roof over my head another minute.
All right, Rosalie, gather yourself up, darling, and see if we have everything.
Did you see Allison?
Yes.
Well?
Nothing.
Did he have anything further to say?
Not to me. To his son-in-law.
That's none of our concern what he has with his son-in-law.
Son-in-law is nice, Jake. He's very nice, Jake.
He must be very nice. Extremely nice. Married to one woman and in love with another.
Go, Rosalie, darling. Take these things down to the car.
I knew that, Ma.
Here, Rosalie.
I go to movies, Ma. I read books.
Let her know, Molly. Let her know what life is. Would that I didn't live in my little world all my life. I wouldn't have been bamboozled by Sylvia like I was.
Wait, darling, come. I'll open the door for you, Rosalie.
I can manage, Ma.
It's all right. Take this also.
All right.
So you take Papa's Panama hat.
All right, Ma.
Put it in the front. So that the front seat that will go. So it shouldn't get cracked up and it shouldn't get smashed up. Be careful. Oh,
If Sammy was coming right back, where is he?
he'll be here.
Don't you feel well, Molly?
Too well not.
Too well, nobody feels.
I feel like a big period at the end of a sentence.
By a sentence, Molly? A period at the end of a chapter. And if I saw myself away from here, I'd feel like a wonder mark at the end of a long story.
Oh, it should only be the end.
It is the end.
Somebody by the door. Ask first who it is, Jake.
Who is it? Allison. It's Allison.
Allison. Where'd Jake?
Come in.
Oh, Sergeant.
Did they come back? Sammy and Sylvia?
Not yet.
I'll put these things in the car, dear. I'll go down.
Can't the three of us sit down and talk this thing out a little?
What is there to talk about, Miss Allison?
I think many things. We don't always know about everything that happens to us. I never even gave my own son-in-law a chance to talk to me until today. All the things I thought he was, he is. But he's many other things, too. That's why I think, Sylvia loves Sammy. There's no doubt about that. Of course, if Sammy is sure that he doesn't love my daughter, well, then there's nothing to talk about. But if he still does, would you still object to Sylvia?
What answer do you expect from me, Miss Allison? I love my son as you love your child. You want her happiness, I want my son. All the things you're trying to tell me, I can't hear. She isn't all bad, I know, but she isn't good enough. She'll change, I'm not willing to wait. She loves him, but he mustn't love her. That's how I feel. Nothing can change me.
Is that how you feel too, Jake?
There'd be no happiness, Allison. How could there be? I wish it could be different. Believe me, dear friend. I wish it didn't have to end this way.
Jake.
Allison. What are you, a baby?
Help it, Jake.
Allison. I wish it could be different.
Please. Please. Oh, it's no use, Sylvia. I can't even think what to say that might make you stop. All I can say is I wish this were the beginning again and nothing had happened between.
What's the use of saying that?
None. Oh, I guess it'd be better if we just turned around and drove back home and I left.
And that's the beginning again for you. You'll go away and think of something else.
No.
You will. But I won't. Do you know why I brought you here? You can see the whole town from up here. Those are the lights. This is the one place from which someone living here can see the whole town at once.
And I suppose this is the one place from which you can see your whole life at once. Is that what you mean?
Yes. You're smart, Sam. You understand everything. Do you believe everything I tell you now?
Yes.
Do you believe I love you more than anything in the world?
I believe you love me.
And that's not enough for you.
That's not enough for anyone.
And I'm the one that was called selfish and mean and miserable.
People can't live with each other day in and day out with love alone.
People can learn.
Please, Sylvia.
All right. I've cried. I've begged you. I've asked to be forgiven.
Sylvia,
it's all right. I can't go back to that town. I can't go back to my father. Everyone hates me or despises me. What would you do if you were me, Sammy?
I can't answer that.
I can.
Sylvia.
I've made up my mind. I once tried to kill myself when I was a little girl. We were up here on a picnic, and I wanted something. I don't remember what. Maybe it was more ice cream. And they wouldn't let me have it, and I ran out here crying, and I stood where this car is now, and I said I'd jump off if they didn't give it to me. I meant it.
Let's go back, Sylvia.
And they promised me that I could have what I wanted. I came back. And they slapped me and sent me to sleep. All my life I knew I made a mistake.
I'll drive back, Sylvia. Let me drive.
Why? I'm not going to live after you go, Sam.
You're crazy, Sylvia.
Maybe I am. People couldn't live the way I live, with these storms going on inside their minds all the time, and remain safe. Maybe I am crazy. But you'll see. Well, let's go back, Sammy.
Wait.
What for?
We'll get married.
Sammy.
Yes, I mean it. I mean it. I don't know if you mean what you say. No one could know, not even yourself.
Oh, I don't care why you're marrying me, as long as you are. Oh, I'll show you that. You love me once, you'll love me again. You will, oh, you will.
Let's go back now.
All right, we will. We'll show them, all of them. They want me to be unhappy. Oh, they want me to be unhappy, to punish me. But we'll be the happiest people in the world.
I'm marrying you not to be the happiest person in the world. I'm marrying you because I can't have your life, even the threat of your losing it on my conscience. But I'd rather be dead than married to you.
Say that again. You'd rather be dead than be married to me.
What's there to live for, married to you? Sylvia. Sylvia.
You'll have your wish.
Give me that wheel.
Let
Give
go.
it to me.
Let go.
The car goes hurtling over the edge, crashing through the shrubbery and small trees, the motor roaring and screaming in the night. And Sammy and Sylvia are in it.
Stay tuned next for the adventures of Superman.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. When Clark Kent discovered that a forged order was responsible for the escape of Dr. Deutsch and Hans, two dangerous foreign agents, he exploded a bombshell at the naval base. Commander Leeds, head of the base, and Lewis, a Secret Service man, were flabbergasted. It meant only one thing: a traitor in their very midst. As we continue today, Deutsch and Hans have eluded the police dragnet and are safe in one of their secret hideouts, an abandoned shack. Kent has returned to the Daily Planet office, and we find him now pleading with Editor White to permit him to drop everything else and devote all his time to rounding up the espionage ring. Listen.
I know I could track down Dr. Deutsch, Mr. White.
It isn't that I doubt your ability, Kent.
Well, then what is your reason for keeping me off this story?
Well, Kent, don't you see, we've told the whole world in the pages of the Daily Planet that you're doing a report on Deutsch and his gang for the Navy Department.
But, Mr. White, what has the report to do with letting me continue my work?
Now, look here, Kent. Deutsch is out to get you. He doesn't want that report ever to be turned in.
Well?
And he'd do everything he could to get you out of the way before you had time to finish it.
But you don't need me to finish the report, Mr. White. Lois can do that. Or you could do it. I've told both of you everything I know.
Nothing doing, Kent. You're a newspaper man, not a private detective.
But
tracking down Deutsch and his gang is a job for the Secret Service.
Oh, but Mr. White, if I did find Deutsch and break up the espionage ring, the Daily Planet would have a terrific scoop.
Yes, but in the meantime, I'd probably lose a good reporter.
Oh.
Stick to your knitting, Kent. Leave the foreign agents to people who know more about them.
Look, I know enough about Deutsch to fill a book. After all, I was instrumental in getting the Grayson sub back to the naval base.
Well, you'll rest on those laurels. I've been through all this before, Kent. I know how your blood tingles when you think of tracking down a gang of spies. locating them in some secret hideout, rounding them all up. It happens that way in books. But in real life, you'd probably end up with a bullet in your heart.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. Bullets don't bother me.
Are you crazy?
What?
What do you mean the bullets don't bother you?
Well, I mean, I just wouldn't get in the way of them.
And sometimes I think you have the mentality of a 5-year-old. You just wouldn't get in the way of them. Well, what would you do if someone pointed a gun at your chest and pulled the trigger? I suppose you'd just take a deep breath and let the bullet bounce off, eh?
Oh, no, I couldn't do that.
Oh,
but...
forget it.
Well, I can't forget it, Mr. White. I want to crack at the job. Why can't I have it?
Frankly, Kent, the situation is just this. If I assigned you to track down Deutsch and his gang, I'd be taking the responsibility for your life. I can't do it, Kent, and I won't.
Very well, Mr. White. And perhaps I'll have to continue my work without your permission.
Well, Kent, you wouldn't...
I've got it. Hello. Just a minute. For you, Mr. White. Commander Leeds on the line from the naval base.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Commander. Yes, of course. What's that? You want me to do you a special favor? Why, certainly, Commander. Anything you say.
And while Editor White and Commander Leeds are talking, two men are secretly eavesdropping on their conversation. Dr. Deutsch and Hans have tapped the telephone wire from the naval base that runs underneath their shack.
We can hear them perfectly, Hans.
Yeah, Herr Doctor.
What's that? You want me to do you a special favor? Why, certainly, Commander. Anything you say.
Mr. White, I want to borrow Clark Kent from the planet.
Borrow him?
You hear that, Hans?
Yes. I want to use Kent as a special investigator to help us track down Deutsch and his gang.
Kent's a reporter, not
I've simply got to have him, Mr. White. I'm not sure anymore whom I can trust here at the base, but I know I can trust Kent.
Very well, then, Commander. But you'll have to be responsible for Kent's safety.
Naturally. Now, listen carefully. I'm sending Mr. Lewis to the planet office in the car, Kent's medic. He'll be there in a few hours to pick Kent up and drive him back to the base. We've got to work fast.
He'll be ready, Commander.
One more thing.
Yes?
Is Kent's report on Deutsch completed yet?
No. I believe he was going to write it today. But don't worry, Commander. Miss Lane can finish that job.
Fine. Goodbye then, Mr. White.
Goodbye, Commander.
Well, things begin to happen, Hans.
But, Herr Doctor, who is this man Lewis?
Lewis is a Secret Service agent. Everything is working out to perfection, Hans.
What do you mean?
Kent will never get to the naval base. He will be with us here in a few hours.
They have a plan, then?
I do not even need a plan. Herr Kent will come to this shack of his own free will. He will come to us. You hear? We do not even have to go and find him.
But Kent does not know where we are, Herr Doctor.
You think it is a miracle I will work? Well, perhaps it is. That is our business, Hans. Working miracles.
This is one miracle that must not fail, Herr Doctor.
There are 3 miracles we must do, Hans. We must not only get Kent, we must get Miss Lane and Herr White also. We must leave no one who can complete that report.
Yeah, but Herr Doctor,
It is not so difficult as it sounds, Hans. For example, there is much machinery in a newspaper office.
Printing machinery?
Yes, printing machinery of all kinds. From giant presses to typewriters, for instance. Could we perhaps get rid of Lois Lane and Herr White by using a typewriter?
Using a typewriter? I do not understand, Herr Doctor.
You are not supposed to understand, Hans. I understand, you act. Open that cabinet over there on the wall. Now, what do you see, Hans?
A small square package, Herr Doctor, wrapped in brown paper.
Take off the paper, Hans. Now, what do you see?
It is a bomb. Himmel, it's so small.
Small, but powerful, Hans.
It fits inside my hand. Where did you get it?
I said once before, Hans, I do not tell you everything I know. Bring it to me. This bomb is a secret. One is given to each of our agents to use in an emergency. It is a vacuum bomb, Hans. Tremendously powerful. It is designed especially to wreck machinery, to be set off by the movements of wheels and levers.
Wunderbar, Herr Doctor.
Hans, this bomb should be fitted into a typewriter.
Miss Lane's typewriter?
Yes, Hans. Miss Lane is writing at her desk. And then suddenly, an explosion.
It will blow up and she's writing the report.
Yes, that can be arranged. The bomb can explode when a certain word is written. A word that Miss Lane must use in the report.
But which word, Herr Doctor?
There is one word she must use, Hans. That word is Deutsch. They cannot leave my name out of that report.
Ja. And Fräulein Lane types those 6 letters.
D-E-U-T-C-H? She is gone, and the office of the Daily Planet is blown up with her.
A magnificent plan, Herr Doctor.
Except how are we to carry it out? Is that what you wanted to say, Hans?
Ja, Herr Doctor.
I will tell you. Today, you play an important part in the great master plan. You, Hans, are a man who repairs typewriters. Do you understand?
But, Doctor...
Quiet. You are a man who repairs typewriters. You go to the Planet office. You inquire which is Fräulein Lane's typewriter, and you attach the bomb under the keys. I will show you how.
I know how to attach the bomb, Herr Doctor. You forget I was once a watchmaker, but...
But what, Hans?
How do I get to the Planet office? We have no car. We pushed it into the water.
I have something better. Here, behind the radio set. Look, Hans.
A motorcycle?
Yeah. No one can stop you. You go like the wind.
Very good, Herr Doctor. I will try.
And you must not fail, Hans. Now, quickly. In the cabinet over there, you will find some overalls.
Yeah.
Here, let me help you. Here. That's right. The cap.
Yeah.
So pull down.
Yeah.
Now, quickly, the overalls.
Yeah.
Get into them. That's right.
Yeah.
And here is a little bag to carry your tools.
Yeah. There is the bomb.
Here, Hans. You must carry it in your pocket. Carefully.
Jawohl. Carefully.
Now, mount the motorcycle and get ready. I will open the door for you.
Yeah. All ready.
You must not fail, Hans.
I will not fail.
Bye, Hans. Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Right this way, mister. Miss Lane's working on something important, so they gave her a private office. Oh, she's not here now. How long will it take you to repair the typewriter?
Oh, about 15 minutes.
Okay. She's probably in conference with Mr. White and Clark Kent. There's the machine.
Oh, thank you. I will go to work immediately.
What's wrong with the typewriter?
I think some of the keys are bent.
Mind if I watch you fix them? My name's Jimmy Olsen. I'm head copy boy on the paper.
Oh, I am pleased to know you, but when people watch me, I become nervous.
That's funny.
Maybe it is funny to you, but not to me.
Oh, I won't bother you. I'll stand over here.
If you insist on watching, close the door, please. The office noises disturb me.
Oh, sure.
That's better. Now, then, let me see. Yeah.
Say, what's that little box you're attaching to the bottom of the typewriter?
The box it is a testing meter.
Oh, it doesn't look like a testing meter. It hasn't any dials.
Stand back.
Hey, wait a minute. I don't like your attitude. I've got a good mind to tell Mr. Wells, the office manager, to hire someone else to repair our typewriter.
Get away from that door.
What do you mean?
I'll show you what I mean.
Hey,
you have too big a nose, Kinder. Now, a handkerchief over your mouth. So, I'll steal you, little fool. I must have some strong cord in my pocket. Yeah. Enough to bind your wrists and ankles. There. You will not get loose soon. Now, into this closet with you. Now to lock it and take along the key. I must work fast before anyone comes. This wire here. And this one here. So, it's done. The typewriter is now ready for Miss Lane. All ready for her.
How long will it be before Lois Lane's flying fingers strike the fatal letters D-E-U-T-C-H and bring catastrophe? Dr. Deutsch's name must appear in the report she is about to write. And when it does, the lethal bomb will blow the office sky high. Only Jimmy knows that something is wrong, and he lies bound and gagged in the closet. What will happen?
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Stay tuned next for The Lone Ranger.
Horse for the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver, the Lone Ranger. With the rise of the cattle industry in the western United States, the bands of outlaws that roamed the frontier turned to cattle rustling. The local sheriffs were unable to protect the lives and property of the ranchers, and it was not until the masked rider of the plains started his great fight for justice that the range country became safe for honest men and women. Return with us now to those thrilling days when the West was young. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We're heading for Windy River. There's going to be trouble. Hi-yo, Silver! Hi!
West of Windy River, the range was open and deserted. Texas longhorns roamed free and wide, and only occasionally were they rounded up into compact herds. In the middle of just such a herd, a man stood stock still, eyeing the cattle who stood with lowered horns around him.
Get away, you ornery longhorns. Get... No, you don't. Look out. Oh. Gosh, I thought I was a goner for sure that time. That horn come near going right through me. Now, calm down. Calm down. Where's that doggone whistle? Doggone critters. I'm caught right in the middle of them without a horse. If they start getting spooky, they'll ride right over me, trample me into the dust. I won't never get out alive. This here country's plumb empty. There ain't nobody to help me.
Plenty stars out tonight, Kemosabe. It's dark night, huh?
Tonto. Rein up.
What matter?
Don't you hear it, Tonto?
Why you turn head from side to side?
I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from. There's a sound riding the wind, Tonto. And turn your head this way and listen.
Oh, now Tonto here. That's cattle.
A herd of cattle, Tonto. They must be down in that valley. It's too dark to see them, but that's where the sound comes from.
Why them acts so strange?
They sound as if they're going to stampede.
What make 'em that way? There's no storm to scare 'em.
Wait, Tonto. Listen to that. What did that sound like to you, Tonto?
That's not bird or animal.
We're thinking the same thoughts, Kemosabe. That whistle must be from a man. He must be in danger.
Him down in valley?
Come on, Tonto. Follow me.
Get him up, Scout.
Loosen your guns, Tonto. There may be trouble. Steady, Silver. Watch the ground. It's a bad place for a fall.
Me hear whistle. Maybe so we yell, huh?
No, Tonto. Don't raise your voice. It may be all those cattle need to start them on the run.
There are plenty cows up ahead.
Easy. Easy now. Here are the steers, Texas longhorns. Have to inch our way right into them.
I'm plenty nervous.
Easy, Silver. Not too fast, big fellow. Those horns are sharp.
Me not see anything.
Keep watching. That whistle came from the center of this herd.
Why cattle getting herd in first place?
Yes, it is strange. Watch out.
Him big fella.
Look, Kemosabe, up ahead of us.
That's right. They're man.
Mister, get me out of here.
Take it easy. We're coming.
They're fixing to stampede. Get me out of here.
We come.
The cattle are moving. Come on, Silver. This is no time for going slow. Charge right through them.
Get 'em up, Scout.
Help, mister. Hurry up before we lose my feet.
We're coming. On, Silver.
Stampede. They're on the front.
Quick, up behind me. Give me your hand. Up.
Thanks, mister. I feel a heap better sitting on this horse.
Don't thank me yet. We're not out of danger. Tonto.
It looked bad.
We've got to ride right through the herd again. We've got to outrun them before they go completely loco. Use your guns. Fire at the ground. Frighten them away. We've got to get out. Come on, Silver.
Get him up, Scout.
Keep driving, mister. Keep driving.
Hi-yo, Silver. Away!
Yes, sirree. Sure is good to see the morning sun again. Last night when your pard picked me onto his horse right spank in the middle of them longhorns, I figured we was all done for.
We all right now.
Yeah, thanks to him and you. I ain't seen him since he headed away in the dark. Who is he, Injun?
Him friend.
Yeah, but I couldn't get a good look at him. That white horse and the way he talked. Seems like I should have known who he was.
Him come back soon. You ask him.
Injun, somebody galloping this way behind them cottonwoods. Reach for your gun.
No, it's all right. That masked friend.
Hi,
Kemosabe.
Randy, I have news for you.
Mister, if it's bad, I've heard enough. Hey, what in thunder? You're masked.
I left while it was still dark, Randy.
A masked man. You're an outlaw. You and the Indian.
Don't make that mistake. Tonto and I are on the side of the law, always.
Don't take me for a mule, mister. You're masked, and only outlaws wear... Oh, wait. Wait a second before I say something I'll be sorry for. Injun, your name is Tonto?
That's right.
You said that before, only I wasn't giving ear. And that horse, mister, I heard you call him Silver. Well, you're the Lone Ranger.
Right. Randy, I found out what made your cattle stampede last night.
You did?
Here, look at this. Steady, Silver.
Silver, him not like scent.
I'll be doggone. It's the hide of a wolf.
They were scattered all around there, Randy. A row of them strung to windward of your cattle. They drifted down on your camp while you were sleeping.
No wonder them longhorns run for it. The smell of wolf is enough to drive cattle loco. Hey, them wolves didn't put themselves there.
You've got enemies, Randy.
I reckon so, mister. I figured all that gent had to fight was the wind and the weather. Maybe some Injuns or renegade outlaws. But I never calculated I'd run into this.
Do you know anyone who might have placed these wolf pelts there?
No, I don't think so. My cowhands pulled up stakes and left because of a quarrel, but it wasn't them. Hey, masked man, I've got it. I think I know who it might have been.
Yes?
Wolf pelts. Now, there ain't nobody more likely to leave them around than a fellow who makes his living hunting them, is there?
A bounty hunter.
Yeah. The more I think of it, the more likely it is. He's just the kind of hombre who'd do a sidewinder trick like that stampede.
Who is he? Name him, Randy, and we'll help bring him to justice.
What's his name?
Mister, he's a big fella with... Hey, somebody's shooting at us. Where they shooting from? I don't see a soul.
There. Look, it's across the river.
Where's my horse? I'll show them hombres.
There isn't time for that. I'm kicking my stirrups loose. Hang on, both of you.
You grab stirrup.
Come on, Silver, that way. Don't let go of the stirrups. I'll keep them busy.
Mister, where are you going?
Heading for those cottonwoods along the shore. It's the only shelter there is. Are you all right?
I'm hanging on for all I'm worth.
Me hold stirrup, Kimasabi.
We're almost there. Just a few more steps. Faster, Silver.
Masked man, you saved us. You saved us.
This is it. Whoa, Silver. Whoa. Now we have some protection, Tonto. Slip my rifle out of the saddle boot and get busy.
Tonto, do it.
And you, Randy. Here's one of my six-shooters. You get... Randy.
What matter, Kimasabi? Are you not sick? Oh, him lie on ground.
Randy, I didn't notice.
It ain't your fault, masked man. It was a right good idea. But that last bullet before we got in the shelter, I reckon that last bullet kind of nicked me. I feel kind of bad all of a sudden.
Tonto, hurry. We've got to look after him.
Are they coming any closer, Injun?
No. River too deep to cross. That's why masked friend not go cross river here.
He headed upstream where he could swim Silver across the water, huh?
Now you lay down. You hurt bad.
I reckon it must keep you right busy, Injun.
Me keep them busy.
Tending to me and firing shots, too.
Not so bad men think we all here.
If we'd have made this clump of cottonwood sooner, might not have stopped a bullet.
Here. You feel bad, huh?
Yeah. The water sure tastes good, Injun. Am I hurt bad?
You not talk.
No,
you not talk.
I gotta talk, Injun. Times like these is when I kind of miss that whistle of mine.
Huh?
I got it from my son. Him and his ma are back in Stockton. Funny thing, that whistle sure helped me quiet down them cattle. Till they stampeded for real.
You not worry.
Ain't worrying. Just thinking. Too bad that whistle got trampled under in that stampede. Jimmy would sure like that whistle.
You not worry. Look what Tonto fixed.
Where I be? Injun, you carved a whistle. Sure sounds different.
This one Tonto carved with knife before bad men start shooting. Here.
You're giving it for my boy, Injun?
Not right. For Jimmy. You keep. Tonto got another one.
I don't know if I'll ever see him again. Or his mom.
Oh, you'll not say that.
Nation. I sure wish the masked man would get to them hombres. Won't they never stop shooting?
Keep shooting, boys. Randy's not cottonwood someplace, and we want to make sure he don't come out.
Travis! Hey, Travis!
Get down off that horse before a bullet tumbles you off. Those hombres across the water shoot like magic.
Hey, lifted my hat.
Serves you right, Prairie. What were you doing back there anyway? I told you to watch upriver in case somebody tried to outflank us.
Somebody has.
Eh?
That masked hombre on the white horse, Travis. I came back here when I seen him start.
Oh, you're loco. He's over yonder in that clump of cottonwood.
I seen him, I tell you. He'll be along, pronto.
What hombre, eh? That means there's only Randy and the Indian across from us, and Randy's wounded. I seen him catch a bullet just before they made shelter.
Hey, Travis, listen.
Shut up, Prairie.
But, Travis, that masked...
I said shut up.
I've been figuring something out. Who's watching the ford downstream?
Jet.
Keno. All right, you hombres, on your horses. Do like I tell you. There are only 2 men over there now, and one of them's wounded. Follow me. We'll cross to the ford and close in on them.
Yeah, without the masked man, it'll be easy.
If we want them cattle, we gotta finish Randy for good. And that's just what we aim to do. Come on! After him! After him!
Well, Silver, it's just as well we rode right after that rider. There are too many of them for one man to handle, but at least they can be stopped from crossing the river. We'll head right into the water, straight across. Tonto can see us already. Look, he's waving.
Get Randy ready, Kimosabe. We'll have to move. We'll have to stop them from crossing the ford. In you go, Silver.
I'm coming now, Kimosabe.
We got here just in time. How do you feel, Randy? I'm sorry we had to move you, but it was necessary.
It wasn't far, mister. I did all right.
We can stand them off here much better. They'll never cross the river at this point.
Good thing you hear them talk. Or they cross river and then get us, huh?
They're starting into the river now, Kimosabe. Don't shoot, I'll handle it. Now I'll put a scare into them.
That's far enough unless you want to taste lead.
Travis, it's a masked man. He must have been listening. I told you there was
Mister! Hand him a Randy and go on your way peaceable.
What do you want him for?
That's my business. Hand him over and we'll let you and the engine go.
You hear that, Tonto?
Them mean to kill Randy.
Oh, mister, I ain't going to last much longer. You and the engine save yourselves.
We'll never leave you, Randy. We can defend ourselves as long as we keep them from this side of the river.
Well, I'm tired of waiting. What's your answer?
If you want Randy, you'll have to get all of us. Here's my answer, Travis.
Get him, boys. Pour lead on him. Shoot him down.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. The attack of the outlaws was successfully beaten off, and as night fell over the windy river, Tonto kept busy attending the wounded man. The Lone Ranger crept back from the river where he had braved death to fill the canteens.
Here, Tonto, I fill the canteens.
I'm me glad you're back safe, Kimosabe.
Travis and his band are determined to get Randy, Tonto. Can he be moved any further?
It's not good. Him plenty tired.
Just bringing him from the cottonwood over here?
That's right. Him plenty sick.
He's got to live, Kimosabe.
Tonto, not sure.
I've been thinking it over, Tonto. I'll have to leave you. Travis will figure out some new way to get across the river. He's got too many men to handle except from this one spot.
That's right.
This is a natural defense position, but there's a limit to how long so few of us can hold out. Tonto, I'm going to ride to Stockton.
Me savvy. You bring back help, huh?
You're needed here to tend Randy's wound. Besides, Silver and I can cover the ground faster.
Here, you take canteen.
No, Kimosabe. You'll need all the water you can get. Here, Silver.
Mister, just a second.
Randy, I thought you were asleep.
I can't sleep, masked man.
What is it?
You're leaving, huh?
You heard us?
Yeah.
Here, you have drink water.
No, I ain't thirsty. Mister.
Yes?
My wife and son, they're in Stockton.
Yes, Randy.
Will you tell them goodbye for me?
Goodbye? Randy, you're not...
No need to fool me, mister.
You're going to be all right.
Tonto will care for you.
You're mighty fine gents, both of you. But in case I ain't around when you come back, masked man.
I'll talk to your wife and boy.
Tonto made a whistle for Jimmy.
That Lone Ranger whistle now.
Yeah. You carved it, Injun. You think Jimmy...
Randy, do you want your boy to have this whistle that Tonto carved?
Will you give it to him, mister?
You'll give it to him yourself. Steady, Silver. Yep. Come on, boy.
Injun.
Him go for help.
He forgot to take the whistle for Jimmy.
You hear, mask friend? Him say you give boy whistle.
Yeah, but you
That mean you got to get well, savvy?
Yeah, I reckon I'm going to try.
Listen, that man hear Lone Ranger right away.
They're shooting.
You not worry. Silver him plenty fast.
East from the Windy River, a flash of silver gleaming in the pale prairie moonlight, racing for help. The Lone Ranger and the great horse Silver.
Come on, Silver. We've got to bring men. Cover the ground, Silver.
Leaning forward in the saddle, his keen eyes searching the darkness beyond, his hand light on the reins, but guiding the great stallion surely over the rough trail.
Watch out for that fallen cactus. Up, Silver.
Hoofs thudding on the dry dirt, covering the ground in giant strides, racing for town.
We're heading for Stockton, Silver. We've got to get more men before Travis attacks. Keep traveling, Silver.
East from Windy River, the great white horse and the masked rider. Riding east, riding for help.
Faster, Silver. Faster. Faster, Silver.
Golly, what's that? Oh, better take a look out the window. I've never seen anything like that in Stockton. Never before. Gosh, look at that big white horse. And all a man.
Jim, what are you doing out of bed?
Ma, look. Do you figure maybe it's a lynching?
What are you talking about?
You can see him clear in the moonlight. Look yonder.
Why, it's Mr. Baker and Davy Andrews, and there's Mr. Burnside, the Wells Fargo agent. They've all got their horses.
And guns. Look at that man on the white horse, Ma. What can it be?
Jim, I'm frightened.
Huh?
I don't know what it is, but I wish your father was here.
Ma, you don't think anything could have happened to Pa?
I wish he was here.
We'll head right back for the Windy River. Stick close together.
Oh!
Ma, where are you going?
Jim, that man shouted something about the Windy River. That's where your father is. We've got to talk to that man. Stop! Wait! Wait, somebody!
What is it?
Mister, come here. Mister!
The rest of you keep riding. I'll catch up. Come on. You must be Mrs. Randy.
Mister, tell me straight. What's wrong out there? Has anything happened to my husband?
I thought I could get a posse together without arousing you, Mrs. Randy.
Well, they're heading for the Windy, ain't they?
You must be Jim.
How'd you know?
From your father. He has a whistle for you, Jim.
Mister, please.
Mrs. Randy, a gang of outlaws led by a man named Travis are after your husband's cattle.
Travis?
Gosh, that hombre's bad medicine.
He and Tonto are on the bank of the river holding Travis' men off.
Tonto?
My Indian friend.
But Mister, I don't savvy. If my husband's being shot at by a lot of men, why didn't he do what you did? Why didn't he straddle his horse and come back here into town?
He can't.
He can't? Well, I don't savvy what... Mister, he's wounded.
It's better not to move him just yet. But Tonto's with him.
That's why you come alone. That's why you made the long trip.
The posse is heading west as fast as they can travel. We'll get Travis, I promise you that.
Mister, you've got to save him. You've got to.
Stay here, and don't worry about your husband. Come on, Silver.
Gosh, Travis and his bunch of murdering skunks.
Ma, that fellow wore a mask.
If he's hurt bad and can't be moved, Jim, son, what did you say? Did you say that man on the white horse wear a mask?
Oh, pretty dark, Ma, but I seen it. I seen it under the brim of his Stetson.
A masked man? Jim, saddle the horses. There's something mighty wrong.
You think he's an outlaw, too?
Saddle the horses. We're riding after your father ourselves. Why, Travis may be pouring lead at them right now. Saddle them horses.
A couple more hours, it'll be dawn. Yeah, I reckon we missed that masked man when he rode off.
We've been shooting all night, Travis.
I wonder if that masked man got scared.
Not that fella. No, sir.
Yeah. We gotta figure some way to finish Randy off mighty soon.
There's that engine there, too.
Engines don't count. If the masked hombre hadn't outsmarted us, we'd be across that river right now.
Travis, you ain't figuring to rush the fort again. That's suicide.
Yeah,
Why don't
but
we take them cattle and head for the border?
Because I ain't dumb like you, Prairie. Randy's got to be got rid of. Otherwise, he could show his brand on them steers.
I reckon you're right.
If that masked gent hadn't swum his horse across the river and... Hey, Prairie.
Huh?
Yeah, that's it. It's dark, nobody will see.
What are you mumbling about, Travis?
Follow me and get your horse.
Boys, hold your fire a second. Everybody but Rattler and Buzz, pile on your horses.
What's your scheme, Travis?
Rattler and Buzz will keep on shooting across the water to make the engine and Randy think we're all still here. The rest of us are going along the bank a ways, then we swim across and pile right into them, savvy?
Now you're talking, Travis.
When you hear the shooting start over there, grab your saddles and hightail across the river. You and Buzz can get across easy in the excitement.
Keno, we'll get him from both sides, huh?
Yeah. Reckon it'll be right close to dawn.
That's one dawn that Randy won't never see.
You all set? All right, start shooting, you two. Come on, boys. It's almost dawn now.
Yeah, Injun.
You feel better now, huh? No fever?
I wish I was stronger.
Not all right. You'll get strong soon.
Not the best I could do would be to roll down a hill, I reckon. You see, Injun... Anything wrong?
I mean, not like sound of shots from across water.
Huh?
All shots sound same. That not good.
What you talking about, Injun? They're all shooting like blazes, regular, steady as clockwork.
But maybe they're fake. Maybe they're only two outlaws.
Tonto, you sure?
You listen. Guns not sound like different guns. Just two.
Yeah. Now that you mention, I ain't heard Travis's gun in quite a while. He has a new Sharp's carbine. Makes a snapping sound like a whip.
If them come from other side now, we have plenty bad time. But maybe...
Yeah, Tonto, you got a plan?
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Come on, boys, ride them down!
Injun, that's Travis. They're on this side of the river. Injun, they got us.
What are you shooting at, Prairie?
It's Sammy. It's the Injun and Randy right there.
Eh?
There, see him?
You doggone idiot. Can't you see straight? That ain't them.
Well, I'll be... It's just some mesquite. Sure looks like them in this kind of light, don't it?
Yeah, they gotta be around someplace. Randy couldn't do no traveling. Look this spot over. Skim around. They can't be far off.
Hey, Travis. Travis.
Yeah, Rattler?
Travis, any of the boys been down that way? Near the river bank?
Oh, nobody.
Keno, then it's them. Right down there. They must be trying to duck under the water and keep hid.
That's all I want to know. Follow me.
Come on. Right there's the place.
Let me at him.
Hey, who's that?
Travis, it's a masked man. He's got a posse with him.
Shoot him! Don't let him get away!
Forward! Travis, you're the man I want. You ain't get me, master. Oh!
All right, Travis, your gun is gone.
Don't shoot again. You got us. We give up. Don't shoot, don't.
Drop your guns, all of you. You'll head them back for town, Sheriff.
Mister, we sure will. But where's Randy?
Tonto! Travis, if you've done anything to
I ain't. We didn't find him.
The whistle. Tonto! Tonto, you're safe. You're both safe.
Yeah, mister. We rolled down to the hill in the water. Reckon you come just in time.
And you're well, aren't you?
Him heap better now. Pretty soon, him all better.
Then you'll head back to town with the others, Randy.
I reckon so. Mister.
Yes?
You recollect what I asked you before? That whistle Tonto made. Are you still sticking by your promise to let me give it to my son, Jim?
Randy, what do you think?
Ma, look, it's Pa with the posse. He's all right. And they got Travis and his whole gang.
Polly! Jim, boy! Oh, it's good to see you.
Oh, we were worried. So worried we rode after the posse. Are you all right?
I will be soon, Molly. And these rustling skunks will land in the calaboose, thanks to the masked man.
Well, did he help save you, Pa?
Help? Why, son, he done it all. Him and his Injun pard. Oh, by gravy, almost forgot. This here's for you.
Why, oh, gosh. It's a whistle.
Yes, sir. That's just what it is, a whistle. A present to you from the Lone Ranger.
Gosh.
Dan, did you say the Lone Ranger?
Sure. That's who that masked man is. Didn't you know that?
I thought he was an outlaw. That's why I was so concerned. That's why we came out here as fast as we could travel. We were worried clean to pieces. Oh, Dan, if I'd known it was the Lone Ranger, I wouldn't have worried one bit. No wonder them rustlers got caught.
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger, Incorporated.
Stay tuned next for the Texaco Star Theater starring Fred Allen.
The Texaco Star Theater. The more than 45,000 Texaco dealers from coast to coast welcome you to an hour of mirth and melody. With our star comedian, Fred Allen, Kenny Baker and Portland Hopper. Our guest, Dr. Elias Bodenweiser, famous horse dentist. Win Murray and Al Goodman's orchestra. It's Texaco time. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is a joke told on this program, you know who tells it. This program, if it is a program, is a one-man show, if it is a show. And here is the one man, if he is a man. Fred Allen in person.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Say, Jimmy, did I detect a note of bitterness in your introduction?
Yes,
Was that remark about my telling all of the jokes tinctured, let us say, a mite with the essence of sulking?
Yes.
Jimmy Wallington. Sulking? Are you putting on a pout?
Yes,
Well, what's wrong?
What's wrong? It's the same routine every week, fed up.
What?
The diet. What do I ever get to... Yes. I never get a joke to tell. You know, I can get laughs, too.
Well, all right, Jimmy. I didn't know you felt that way about it. You think you can get a laugh. Now, there's a joke here coming up here, the next two lines. It's my joke, but you can go right ahead.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Oh, that's all right, Jimmy. Now, read this joke. It's on.
Okay, here it goes. Why have all the women out in hot stopping slacks? 20 women out here were drafted by mistake.
Well, all right. Now, you've told your joke. Now, you satisfied?
Well, listen, give me them down. You tell a gag like that. Well, it's juicy dog for yourself.
All right, you old fudge. On juicy dialogue. I'll give you my personal dialogue. Now, these next lines right here were written especially for me by a man who lives under glass most of the time. Just comes out once a week and writes these two lines for me. Now, you go ahead. You can read them, James.
Okay, Fred. Here comes...
Go right ahead.
Wait. Papa comes down. That's it, son. Comes the late week.
Well, there you are, Jimmy.
Now, wait just a minute. That was no joke. That was a fan do. I get a...
Oh, now, don't blame the lines. It was your delivery. You can't read them. You don't know how. Well, you're just not a comedian.
I suppose you can get a laugh with those same lines.
Yes, I think I can. Now, listen. I'll read the very same lines. And here it is, the latest news of the week.
Well, I'll see.
You certainly will. And when you convince yourself, it'll be unanimous. And now that you... and now the Texaco... The Texaco... Now, don't laugh. Your mustache hangs down and it looks awful when you laugh. Keep your lip up, if you will. The Texaco News presents its highlight from the world of news. Washington, D.C. Associated Press Index of Industrial Activity shows sharp rise in nation's business gains for fifth consecutive week. Since index only shows increase in big business, Texaco News interviews the little businessman to check on increases, if any, in the retail trade. Now, first, we turn to agriculture and question a man about farm, Fergus Hill. How is your farming outlook, Fergus?
If he'd only make up his mind, I'd know where I am.
How do you mean?
Well, up to 2 years ago, my business was hunky-dory. I was going great guns.
I see.
Then he started changing his mind, and I was sunk.
Well, but how...
If he'd only make up his mind, I'd know where I am.
If who would make up whose mind?
I'll explain.
Well, I wish you would.
I will.
Fine.
Quit butting in.
Whoa, excuse me.
Quiet, please.
Well, all right, I'm shut.
It's about time. Now, where was I?
Well, you were talking about your business.
Oh, yes. I grow cranberries.
You grow cranberries?
Got the biggest bog in Jersey.
The biggest bog, huh?
I can grow and pick 2,000 bushels.
Well, good for you.
For 20 years, I had my cranberry crop timed to the day.
Well, how do you mean time?
Well, my crop ripened the last week in November, just in time for Thanksgiving Day. My cranberries was fresh from the bog.
Oh, I see.
If he'd only make up his mind, I'd know where I am.
His mind about what?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, you mean...
Yes, 2 years ago, he moved Thanksgiving up a week.
Yes?
My cranberries was timed.
They ripened a week late?
2,000 bushels. I'm left holding the bog.
Well, what about this year?
Well, this year I timed my cranberries so they'd ripen a week sooner. So what does he do?
What?
Last week he moves Thanksgiving back again.
Yes?
This year I'm going to have 2,000 bushels of cranberries ripe a week too soon.
Your business is all mixed up.
If he'd only make up his mind, I'd know where I am.
Well, tell me, Fergus, when you're stuck with 2,000 bushels of cranberries on Thanksgiving like that, now what do you do?
Wait till Christmas.
Yeah?
Shrink the cranberries.
Uh-huh.
Sell them for holly.
It's still the berries, and thank you, Fergus Till. Now, a man with plenty of troubles, Mr. Sigmund Toffee. What business are you in, Sigmund?
I run a pet shop.
A pet shop. And how do you find the pettery business?
Oh, it's brutal, brother.
But conditions are improving. Why should you have a slump?
Well, I tell you, I got 2 big bloodhounds in this shop. They got appetites like horses. When I was doing good, they ate up all the profits.
They ate the profits, really?
Yeah, sometimes I'd have a big week. Maybe I'd sell a snake or a honey bear.
Yeah?
Out the money would go for dog meat.
And now?
Business is tough. I got to cut down on the bloodhounds.
What do you feed them now?
Well, during the day, I don't feed them nothing.
Oh, you wait until night?
Yeah, when it gets dark, I take the 2 bloodhounds up to the zoo.
And?
I throw them over the fence. Then I wait till they're finished eating.
Oh. On the city, huh? But how does this affect your business?
Well, all week long, I keep the bloodhounds going at the zoo.
Yeah?
Saturday night, I lock up the pet shop.
Uh-huh.
During Sunday, the bloodhounds get hungry.
And?
I open up Monday morning.
Uh-huh.
No matter how many animals I left in the shop Saturday night, Monday morning, I got 2 bloodhounds.
You mean they keep eating your stock?
Every week I'm getting mice, rabbits, canaries, and mongooses on credit.
I see.
All week long I don't sell nothing. Saturday night I lock up my mongooses, canaries, and rabbits.
And?
Monday morning I got 2 bloodhounds.
Well, how long has this been going on?
6 months.
And despite the fact that business is booming all over...
With me, everything's going to the dogs.
The bloodhounds. It shouldn't happen to a man, and thank you, thank you, Sigmund Toffee. A businesswoman from downtown is Mrs. Dolores Buxbaum. Now, what business are you in, Mrs. Buxbaum?
Formerly, I'm running a delicatessen. The Salami Saloon.
You mean Salami Salon, don't you?
Saloon, I'm closing it down.
Well, why?
The delicatessen is old-timey. Corny could be the word for it.
The delicatessen is through.
Positively. The old dirty liverwurst hanging on the door. The pickle barrel with flies making convoys for the pickles. All of this is passé, taboo. Also, it is unsanitary.
Oh, I see.
Today's diners is wanting southern cuisine.
This Dolores Bugsbaum is serving.
So instead of the salami salon, today your restaurant is called...
Mammy Bugsbaum's you all Southern chicken fry you all.
And what food do you serve?
Southern dishes only. Corn prawn.
Corn prawn.
Candied yammers.
Candied yammers.
Chicken barbecue.
Chicken barbecue. Delicious. And how is business?
Always by Mammy Bugsbaum at his pick.
Well, would you say the general conditions have improved your business?
This together with advertising.
Ah, advertising. What sort...
Leaving the subway at Canal Street, a sign is reading...
What?
You are liking Southern cooking, go straight ahead and keep on looking.
Then you have another sign straight ahead?
This is saying, for home-cooked food with nothing fancy, time right here, go up Delancey.
And your next sign reads...
It's coming closer to Good Corn Pone. Across the street, it's next to Cone.
And the next sign?
You are there.
And how does your last sign read?
This is it. We wouldn't lie. Mammy Bugsbaum's chicken fry, y'all.
Well, thank you very much, Mammy Bugsbaum. You all. Thank you. And from these little businessmen, we turn to a young man whose business is vending vocal wares, Kenny Baker. Kenny's first sample tonight is Walking by the River.
There's dew upon the ground, and not a soul in sight. I'm walking by the river, 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. I hear a distant sound. I see a far-off light. I'm walking by the river, 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. The murmuring waters say there's no time to delay, so hurry on your way, my friend. If you don't get there soon, there may not be a moon to guide you to that happy end. My heart is riding high. My blues have taken flight. I'm walking by the river, 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. There's dew upon the ground, and not a soul in sight. I'm walking by the river, 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. I hear a distant sound. I see a far-off light. I'm walking by the river, 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. The murmuring waters say there's no time to delay, so hurry on your way, my friend. If you don't get there soon, there may not be a moon to guide you to that happy end. My heart is riding high. My can fight. I'm walking by the river, 'cause I'm meeting someone there
Thank you, Kenny. And now a word from Larry Elliott. Proceed, Lawrence.
Go easy on that Lawrence stuff, Fred, or I'll haul off and call you John F. Sullivan.
John F. Sullivan?
I was talking to H. Allen Smith, the author of Low Man on a Totem Pole.
Yeah?
And he told me that...
Harry, people never invited me out. They were afraid I'd start a fight all the time.
Well, it just goes to show how much there is in a name, Fred. Sullivan's a fighting name.
Yeah.
Makes you think of boxing. And in the same way, Texaco Sky Chief is a flying name. It makes you think of soaring power, of smooth, almost effortless motion.
Yes, I guess it does.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, with this pleasant idea of Sky Chief in mind, try a tank full and enjoy the on travel. With this different premium gasoline, you'll sense in your car a new eagerness to take off, a soaring ease on the level road. You'll feel its quick upsurge to the challenge of a hill, its flexibility when you throttle down to a slow glide in traffic. Let the name Sky Chief tell you, you'll enjoy more than just driving. You'll fly the highway with this Texaco for those who want the best.
Mr. Goodman and his rumba rabble have just played Adios. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the door. It's always something. Come in.
What time is it?
It's 9:20.
Thank you.
Just a minute. Who are you?
I'm Bolivar.
Boulevard yet. Anything to give me a headache. Oh, come in.
You have a headache?
Yes.
Here's a seltzer. Oh, shucks, I thought I had a seltzer, but I haven't.
Just a second. Who are you?
I'm Alka.
Well, that's radio. Boulevard doesn't know what time it is, and Alka hasn't got a seltzer. Oh, hello, Portland.
Hello.
Well, don't... I wish you wouldn't bother me now. I've got other worries.
Oh, all right. I'll go over in the corner and do my knitting.
Oh, you're knitting? What are you knitting?
Well, I don't know yet.
You don't? Well, if you're knitting, you certainly ought to know what you're making.
Well, I started to knit a sock. I knit it.
Oh, but did it happen?
It can't slip.
It came out. Well, what do you...
I kept knitting, and it's like a leg.
After the sleep came out. Well, how long have you been working on this masterpiece?
I've been knitting 4 months.
4 straight months, And what does it look like now?
Do you think Don Wilson could use a sleeping bag?
Yes, sir, You figured that out good, didn't you? We could have put a commercial in between those 2 words there. Sleeping. Yes, sir, if you ever fall on the point of one of those dull jokes of yours, what was the idea? What was the short pause for station identification? You want to read it over again and try it over, because then you'll have it right for midnight. You'll know. What does it look like now?
Do you think Don Wilson could use a sleeping bag?
No, I think he took the first one you offered him. That's a fine thing. There's one thing about nobody will know who's the straight man tonight, anyway. But you'd better quit knitting, Portland. You'll end up like the cross-eyed woman who knitted a sweater for her husband, and he had to have his arms broken before he could put it on. The waist was a sweater, and the arms were 2 casts. He looked very well in it. Now, what about... but enough hilarity. Now, what about our guest?
He is America's foremost horse dentist. Mr. Allen, meet Dr. Elias Bodenweiser.
Well, good evening, Dr. Bodenweiser. Portland tells me Dr. Bodenweiser was off in the yonder there in the stable. Well, Portland tells me, Dr. Bodenweiser, that you are, by profession, a practicing horse dentist.
That's correct.
And how long have you been engaged in this unique calling?
Practically all of my life.
And approximately how long has that been, Doctor?
Well, I'm 75 years old.
You are 75 years old? You certainly don't look it. Why, Doctor, you look 10 years younger than Jack Benny right here and now. Why, you've got more hair and one eyebrow than Benny has on that whole honeydew head of his. But tell me, Dr. Bodenweiser, how does one go about becoming a stallion bicuspid authority?
I started out as a veterinarian and finally decided to specialize in dentistry.
Well, did they have veterinary schools way back when you launched your career?
Oh, yes. I graduated from the Dr. Leotard Veterinary School.
It was sort of a horse Harvard, eh? Well, did they have degrees at that school, you know, B.S., Bachelor of Spavin, or did they have fraternities like Phi Beta Coulter?
No, we all got diplomas the same as any other college.
I see. And now that you are saving the great American steed from pink toothbrush and receding gums, where do you practice?
Mostly at racetracks and in larger private stables.
Well, it must be rather difficult practicing horse dentistry.
How do you mean, Fred?
Well, when a horse has a toothache, he can't put his hoof in his mouth and show you which tooth hurts, can he?
It's easy, Fred. I can generally look in the horse's mouth and tell what the trouble is right away.
Well, tell me, does the mouth-happy horse go to see his dentist twice a year?
No, in my profession, if the dentist goes to see the horse, the patient.
But it must be... You have a choice there with the dollar tip. Say, it must be a gala day in the stables, Doctor, when you come charging in, your forceps akimbo, your dental floss streaming in the breeze. Your drill stripped for action.
I don't use a drill, Fred. Horses don't have cavities.
Why, with all that sugar they eat and not massaging their gums, why, I should think a horse's mouth would be a tusk shambles.
No, the average horse has a healthy mouth.
What dental attention does a horse require, Doctor?
Once a year, the teeth need filing.
Why?
The enamel grows into sharp points, and if not filed down, the points cut the cheek and the tongue.
Well, what about extractions? Now, do horses ever lose a fang?
Yes, I'm pulling them all the time.
You're pulling teeth all the time, really? Well, what do you do with your old horse teeth, Doctor?
I just throw them away.
You just throw them away, huh? Why, you ought to keep them. You can sell horse teeth to nearsighted elks for their vest.
I never thought of that, Fred.
Oh, yes. A lot of nearsighted elks go all through life always brushing off their vests. They keep mistaking those little elk teeth for tapioca. They're always brushing. But tell me, Doctor, isn't it rather risky making an extraction?
Not at all.
Have you ever started to extract a horse's tooth and have the horse then start to extract one of your fingers?
No, I'm very careful, and my forceps are 22 inches long.
Forceps are 22 inches long. Well, do you use the old dentist bromides when you're extracting? You know, like the dentist says, open a little wider, please. This isn't going to hurt a bit.
No, I just keep the horse's mouth open and my mouth shut.
That's a wise procedure, Doctor. I wish I had a horse so I could practice it. But tell me, Dr. Bodenweiser, what other dental work do you do besides filing and extractions?
I treat abscesses, broken jaw bones, and sometimes put caps on broken teeth.
I guess you must feel pretty good down at the track when one of your patients runs by in a race, sees you, and flashes his new inlay or bridge at you.
Horses don't get inlays in bridge work.
Well, right? I wouldn't know, Doctor. I've never even looked a gift horse in the mouth. But working around at the tracks, I imagine you've attended some of the famous race horses.
Yes, I've worked on War Admiral, Man of War, and many others. But half the time I don't know what horse I'm working on.
Why is that?
When I'm working over a stable of horses, they all look alike to me.
Well, naturally, you've got your head down in their mouths all the time. Now, you ought to take your head out and look around once in a while. There is a great difference between some horses, Doctor.
What's the difference, Fred?
That's what I say, Doctor. What's the difference? Why bother? Well, now, do you ever find it necessary to give your patients Novocaine?
Not in dentistry, Fred.
Well, some people must give their horses anesthetics. If those... the doctor told me to give up tea, and I'm leaving it out of all the work. All he lets me have is a little bag for the knees of my pants, and outside of that... Well, what's the difference? Do you ever find it necessary? Anesthetics. I'll find the place. I'm coming. Track is muddy here. I'm coming along slowly. If those plugs of Crosby's aren't Novocaine from the hips down, Doctor, I'm crazy. Well, it's certainly been nice of you to stop by and horse around tonight, Doctor.
It's been a pleasure, Fred.
Say confidentially, Doctor, what looks good in the third at Belmont tomorrow?
I wouldn't know, Fred.
What? Why, you, a horse dentist, should certainly be able to give me a winner.
Why?
You're the one man at the track who can get his information straight from the horse's mouth. I thought
That's very good, Fred.
I thought you'd enjoy it. Thank you and good night, Doctor.
Good night.
Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Wynn Murray. Wynn is starting her second week at the Radio City Music Hall tomorrow. Loyally, she fits us into her big scheme of things, here to sing Play, Play, Tina.
was oh so strong. Play it sweet, play it low, let the whole world know how he wooed the gypsy stunner, how he wooed her till he won her, and they wed. Play, Tina, let your ocarina tell how he and she then raised a family. Oh, would for you and me instead of they. Oh, play, Tina, play, Tina, play. How he wooed her till he won her, and they wed. Play, play, Tina, let your ocarina tell how he and she then raised a family. Oh, would for you and me instead of they. Oh, play, Tina, play, Tina, play.
Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with your kind permission, I would like to read a message directed to our more than 45,000 Texaco dealers. Quote, the Texas Company has just donated this hour of radio time from July 1st to October 1st to the government. It is to be used by the United States Treasury Department to promote the sale of defense savings bonds and stamps. You Texaco dealers can further add to this investment in America. You are in business in cities, towns, and hamlets in every section of our country. You come in contact with millions of fellow Americans, those who travel along your way, and those who live in your communities. You, the more than 45,000 Texaco dealers, and those employed in turn by you, comprise a great civilian defense army on every highway and byway. So let this hour of your network time, donated to the government, be a symbol of the individual time and personal investment you will each put behind America's defense program. As a great group in constant touch with the public, Texaco dealers can do much to further the sale of defense bonds and stamps. So, Texaco dealers, let's go to work for Uncle Sam.
Texaco Star Theater continues immediately after a short pause for your station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
WABC, New York, 880 on your dial.
That was just a little bit south. That was just a little bit south of North Carolina, played by more musicians than Maestro Goodman can shake a stick at. Maestro, you ought to get a bigger stick or a smaller band. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Mr. Allen.
Oh, yes, Kenny. Say, what is the matter with you? Where did you get that suit?
It's pretty sloppy, huh?
Sloppy? Why, Kenny, you are a herringbone nightmare.
It's my father's suit.
Well, are you sure he isn't still in it? I just saw something moving around in the back there. That suit looks like a shroud with sleeves.
I'm a mess, ain't I?
Yeah. You are a super mess, I must say.
Nice, thanks. Now look at my face. You notice anything peculiar?
Why, it's all blotchy.
Hideous, huh?
Ghastly, really. How did you ever get the front of your face that red? Have you been smelling an electric fan?
No, I've been using sandpaper for Kleenex.
Well, it's no skin off my nose, as the man said.
You know what I wish, F.A.?
What?
I wish I was as repulsive as you are.
Oh, well, Rome wasn't built in a day, you know, Kenny. It's taken me a good many years to get to look like this.
Gosh, if I could only get the skin under my eyes to hang down like yours.
Yes? Yes, I have the only eyes in radio with knapsacks.
Oh, Penny!
Yes, Porty?
The man is here with the dandruff. It's collect.
Oh, thanks, Porty. I'll be right back, F.A.
Well, who is this man with the collect dandruff?
Kenny ordered some dandruff for his coat collar.
What's going on here? First, a baggy suit he has on, his face is all blotchy, and now dandruff?
Oh, Kenny's also trying to get dishpan hands and haystack hair.
Dishpan hand? You mean he's deliberately attempting to render himself revolting?
Yes, he's trying to make a bad impression on Myrna Hornbustle.
Who is Myrna Hornbustle?
She wants to marry Kenny.
What?
It's Mr. Anelick's idea.
Anelick. So Anelick, the confidence man in whom nobody has any confidence, has got his talons in Kenny again, huh?
They started another business together.
Oh, not again.
Yes, they're running a matrimonial agency for June brides.
But where does Myrna Hornbustle come in?
She's their first customer, and Mr. Anelick guaranteed to get her a husband.
Oh, I get it now. She is probably buzzard bait. Anelick can't find her a husband, so he is trying to make Kenny take the rap.
That's why Kenny is messing himself up.
Well, darn that Anelick leading Kenny astray, making a racket out of marriage.
Marriage. Goodman is laughing, but not loud.
You know something about marriage, Maestro?
In my own house, I, Goodman, am wearing the pants.
Well, good for you.
I could go wherever I please if only...
If only what?
If only Mrs. Goodman, while I'm wearing the pants, would give me back the suspenders.
You're lucky she doesn't give you a belt, Maestro. Now, go away.
Say, F.A.
What is it, Kenny?
How do I look with this dandruff on?
You look terrible. Kenny, stop this sartorial hugger-mugger just because you want to fend off this Myrna Hornbustle.
But I'm in a spot, F.A.
Well, can't you get somebody else interested in Miss Hornbustle, Kenny?
I'm trying, Porty. I'm mailing out her pictures to bachelors.
Her pictures? What do the pictures look like?
I've got one right here. See? This is Myrna Hornbustle.
Gosh, she's beautiful.
Oh, wait a minute, Kenny. This here is a picture of Hedy Lamarr.
Put a beard on Hedy Lamarr and you got Myrna Hornbustle.
Miss Hornbustle has a beard?
Van Dyke.
A Van Dyke?
A duplex Van Dyke. It has 2 points.
But a bride with a beard, you'll never get a husband for her.
Why don't you send out a picture of Miss Hornbustle in a pretty dress, Kenny?
You can't see her dress, Porty. It's a pretty long beard.
Why don't you call in the Schick Injector Razor Company?
I sent the Schick Company Myrna's picture, and they wrote back, try the International Harvester Company.
Well, if they give up, you certainly ought to.
Oh, I've got to keep trying, F.A. I'm not trapped yet.
What are you going to do, Kenny?
I've got to find somebody else to propose to Miss Hornbustle. There must be somebody.
Well, don't look at me. I've got enough troubles without ogling a bearded lady.
Then, can I use the microphone for a minute, F.A.?
For what?
Well, Mr. Anlick wrote a commercial for Miss Hornbustle.
Well, if it's your only hope, go ahead, Kenny. Read your commercial.
Okay. Men, if you want to get married this June, don't shop around. Meet Miss Myrna Hornbustle. Myrna comes complete with hope chest, wedding ring, 4 pounds of rice,
and duplex Van Dyke.
Your druggist knows Myrna Hornbustle as Myrn, spelled M-Y-R-N. Remember, men, Myrna Hornbustle contains sulfur. She'll make the perfect match.
I I've heard some insane things on the radio, but you and Annalik have sounded a new psychopathic low.
Gosh, maybe that's a client already. Hello? Oh, hello, Mr. Annalik. Myrna wants her deposit back? Well, I just broadcast it. Tell her she'll start getting a fan proposal tomorrow. Oh, she wants a proposal tonight. Okay.
What's wrong, Kenny?
Somebody's got to take Myrna out tonight and propose.
Looks as though you're hooked, Kenny.
Well, isn't anybody going to help me? How about you, Mr. Goodman? Will you take Miss Hornbustle out for me?
First, you will have to introduce Miss Hornbustle to Mrs. Goodman.
And then?
And then...
Wait a minute. It's not that good. We both have to read it. I mean, one of us can handle it, I'm afraid. And then after Miss Hornbustle has been introduced to Mrs. Goodman, and then?
And then, like little Caporis in the 4th race at Belmont yesterday...
Yes?
Miss Hornbustle is getting scratched.
Maestro, you are the only man I know who speaks a perfect broken English.
Gee, if that's Miss Hornbustle, Kenny, I'll talk to her woman to woman.
If I was one of the Smith brothers, I could talk to her beard to beard.
Hello? Oh, hello, Mr. Annalik. What? Miss Hornbustle's uncle died? She's inherited $3 million?
$3 million?
Oh, well, look, I think I can take Miss Hornbustle out tonight.
Kenny?
Just a minute. Yes, Mr. Goodman?
It is just coming to me. Mrs. Goodman is broad-minded. I could take the Slearney Hornbustle out tonight.
Oh, no, it's all right, Mr. Goodman.
I insist.
Oh, no, Mr. Goodman.
Yes,
Kenny. Wait a minute, boys. Don't argue, fellas. I've just been thinking I can take Miss Hornbustle off both your hands. I will take her out tonight.
I'll tell you what. We'll all take her out.
Good.
Hello, Mr. Annalik. Tell Miss Hornbustle... What?
What's wrong, Kenny?
Mr. Annalik says Miss Hornbustle isn't Miss Hornbustle anymore.
Well, who is she?
She's Mrs. Annalik.
I should have known. Sing, Kenny.
The pale moon was rising above the green mountain. The sun was declining beneath the blue sea. When I strayed with my love to the pure crystal fountain that stands in the beautiful vale of Tralee. She was lovely and fair as the rose of the summer, yet was not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eye ever dawning that made me love Mary, the rose of Tralee. The cool shades of evening their mantle were spreading, and Mary, all smiling, was listening to me. The moon through the valley her pale rays was shedding, when I won the heart of the rose of Tralee. Though lovely and fair as the rose of the summer, yet 'twas not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eye ever dawning that made me love Mary, the rose of
That was very nice, Kenny. You know, Jimmy, I've been thinking over what Dr. Bodenweiser, the horse dentist, told us a little while ago. You know, I think the doctor's got something there. Did you hear what he said about horse sense?
Oh, yes.
Now, there's one advantage the lowly horse has over the automobile, Jimmy. A car will never have horse sense. A car can't rise up on its hind wheels and neigh when a bridge is washed out in the dark at night. A car can't warn you when there's trouble ahead.
Oh, you're wrong, Fred.
Yeah?
An automobile does have a way of warning you when trouble lies ahead. A way of making it known when excessive engine wear may have taken place. And that warning is smoke. Smoke pouring from the exhaust pipe. Smoke may mean trouble that might call for a big engine overhaul job to fix. And remember, the danger of needless engine wear, due to the sustained heat of longer and hotter trips from now on, should be considered. So before your car becomes a smoker, see your Texaco dealer. He'll give your car a complete, safe lubrication with insulated Haviland. This Texaco premium oil is insulated to stand up under today's high engine temperatures that can break down ordinary oil and leave costly engine parts unprotected. Haviland is distilled, too, free from carbon-forming impurities that also hasten wear. So protect your engine now. Heed the smoke warning and change to insulated Haviland at your nearest Texaco dealer.
And now the Texaco Workshop Players. Tonight they present a Hollywood faux pas entitled The Great Studio Economy Wave, or Everyone Got a Salary Cut and the Boss Was the Knife of the Party. Music, maestro. Hollywood, land of bedlam, bingo, and B pictures. Hollywood, hive of fanfare and frustration. Of all the bewildered studios that dot this sun-kissed center, the most inefficient and broken-down outfit is Clambake Productions Incorporated. Under the guidance of President F.A. Allen and 17 nephews, Clambake has hatched the most fragrant eggs in the history of the silver screen. Speaking of Clambake Productions, Jimmy Kidler, radio film critic, says...
Clambake Pictures is making a big mistake. Instead of releasing their pictures, they should release President Allen.
Hedy LaFink, glamour girl on Clambake Lot, says...
I've been in so many turkeys, I'm beginning to look like a giblet. If my water wings didn't leak, I'd go back hostessing in swimming pools tomorrow.
Mr. Thurber Prawn, prominent banker who invested heavily in Clambake Productions, says...
It was a silly speculation, and I'm sorry. Still, I can safely say that after all of these...
Just a minute, Mr. Prawn. What is that peculiar noise?
I say I invested my savings in Clambake Pictures, sir.
Yes?
Today, I'm whistling for my money.
You didn't quite make it at the end, but
yes,
thank
sir.
you regardless. With disaster at his heels and creditors in a large bald spot in his hair, President F.A. Allen has resolved to economize to salvage his creaky organization. As we pick up President Allen, he is hurtling over the wolf outside his door and zooming into his office. Good morning, Miss Q.
Morning, F.A.
Yeah, things here at Clambake are tottering. The handwriting is on the wall.
Yeah? What does it say?
It says I've got to start a fresh economy wave.
You ain't cutting salaries again.
Everything that has been cut has got to be cut again. Take a memo.
Yes, sir.
As of now, no full-blooded Indians are to be hired for Western pictures. We're cutting down to half-breeds. That's a 50% slash right there.
Yes, sir.
Now take another memo.
Yes, sir.
Have all leading men turn in their old toupees at the front office. We can use those toupees to stuff office furniture.
Them pompadour toupees is going to be ticklish to sit on.
No levity, Miss Q.
Yes, sir.
We've got to cut down. From now on, I'm making nothing but sequel pictures. We can use the same costumes, same sets, and same publicity we used for the first time.
Which pictures are you making?
Well, I'm doing a sequel to Adam Had 4 Sons. It's called So Did Crosby.
Are you doing a sequel it the blood and sand?
Blood and sand, yes. I'm calling it anemia and gravel. The biggest clam bake production of all, however, will be my sequel to The Man Who Came to Dinner.
What are you going to call that?
He also stayed for supper.
I thought you was going to spend a fortune on that.
I intended to, but I brought that famous French chef on from New York. What's his name again?
Marcel of McGinnis's.
Oh, yes. Marcel of McGinnis's. I caught him working in a window there and signed him my last trip to New York. Buzz for Marcel.
Yes, sir.
Marcel is supposed to cook the food for the big banquet scene in the picture. He has got to cut down on that banquet.
This must be Marcel now.
Come in.
Bonjour, Effet, bonjour. Vous êtes sending for Marcel of McGinnis?
Oui. I want to parler avec vous about le banquet scene in the cinema. He also stayed for supper.
Ah, oui. Marcel is preparing the meal terrific.
That's why I sent for you, Marcel. We have got to cut down on the food.
But Marcel has the menu prepared. Crab leg canapé, soup du jour, turkey stuffed with goose, goose stuffed with turkey, chicken stuffed with turkey and goose, if it will go in.
No, we have got to cut down, Marcel. Economize. We have got to make it cheaper.
But you are bringing Marcel of McGinnis to Hollywood to prepare the big banquet.
I know. But you will have to cook a smaller meal.
Mais Marcel, the reputation.
Look, Marcel. Make up a smaller menu. We'll shoot the food in a close-up. The meal will look bigger.
Bon, Marcel will prepare the bargain menu. I will start with consommé.
Consommé is fine. Get busy, Marcel, and show some enthusiasm.
Oui, enthusiasm. I am nuts about the good old consommé.
Good. Well, now we're getting someplace. Did you order those studio lunchroom cuts for the actors, Miss Q?
Yes, sir. We're photographing meat on bread.
Photographing the meat onto the bread and saving the meat, I see. Have there been any complaints?
Only Bolivar.
Bolivar? My star parrot?
Yeah, he's kicking about eating yellow buckshot for birdseed.
Dad, I've got to keep Bolivar happy. He's the only talking parrot in Hollywood. Bolivar's new picture, the sea hyena, will clean up. Come in.
F.A.,
Napra, my ace director.
I'm through, F.A. This is the last straw.
Why aren't you directing the sea hyena, Napra?
Your star walked off the set.
Bolivar?
Yeah.
But why?
Well, you cut down on the parrot's food. He refuses to act.
Bolivar refuses?
He's gone on strike.
My economy drive is not going to be stopped by that poultry bottleneck. Where is Bolivar?
He's outside picketing your office.
He's picketing? One side, Napra. I'll open that door.
Alan is unfair.
Now, just a minute,
I
Bolivar.
want to arbitrate. Where's John L. Lewis?
Now, listen. Listen, Bolivar. Everybody in the studio here is taking a cut.
F.A. is right, Bolivar.
I'm a Polly, and you're a crumb by golly.
Now, listen,
I don't
Bolivar.
have to take this. I got offers from Disney.
Why, you Technicolor buzzard. Now, here, stop honing your beak on my desk.
Okay, I'll use this chair. Oh. Sorry, sister, I gotta get glasses.
This is mutiny, Bolivar. Bolivar, you get back to work.
I'll tell you arbitrate, Alan.
All right. Now, what is it you want?
I want enough to eat.
All right.
I want my cage cleaned twice a day.
I'll get in there personally.
I want top billing in this picture.
It's yours. Now go to work.
Okay, if I think of anything else, I'll be back.
Never mind that. Get back out on the set.
Okay. Here I go. Starting back to work again, and here I go. Acting like a jerk again.
Dad, what a business. What a business, an executive capitulating to a parrot.
You're overdoing this economy, F.A.
Nonsense. I'll save money if I'll take that. Hello?
This is Salvin reporting from the cutting room, sir.
Yes, Salvin?
We're just cutting the road to Flatbush.
Ah, yes. The road to Flatbush. I eliminated negative expense. This picture was photographed on old celluloid collar.
That's why I'm calling.
How did the celluloid collar scenes work out?
Okay, but the word arrow keeps flashing across the screen.
Arrow?
Yeah, and every 2 feet, Bob Hope's head turns into a buttonhole.
Well, never mind. I'll get Orson Welles to put his name on it. People will think it's artistic.
Okay.
Gad, one crisis after another.
Voilà, Marcel of McGinnis is prepared for ship on menu.
Good. Now, what are you serving?
Caviar, frog's legs, boiled beef, salad.
No. This dinner is still too expensive. It has got to be something cheaper.
Only one thing Marcel is cooking cheap. The cold buffet, the sandwich.
A buffet, great. I'll change the picture's title. The Man Who Came to Buffet. Get back to work, Marcel.
Oui, I'm nuts about the good old cold buffet.
Now we're getting someplace. Now let me see. What else can I cut?
F.A. Oh, F.A., this is terrible.
What's wrong, Napper?
The parrot.
Bolivar?
He's disappeared.
Bolivar gone? What happened?
I took him back to the set.
Yes?
I put Bolivar in his cage to run over his dialogue.
Yes?
I turned around to pinch the script girl.
Yes?
I did. She screamed. I turned back. Bolivar was gone.
Dad, without that parrot, we can't finish the Sea Hyena. Clambake Productions will be ruined.
Well, he was mad about your cutting down. Bolivar has probably gone to Disney.
We've got to head him off. Get him back. I'll call the police.
Voilà, Marcel of McGinnis is returned. The buffet is prepared.
Not now, Marcel of McGinnis. I have got to call the police.
Marcel is bringing the sample sandwich for you to okay.
All right, let me have a sandwich there. I'll take a bite.
Ici, monsieur. He is good, no?
Yes, sir. What is it?
It is the chicken.
It's pretty gamey for chicken.
Ah, but it is cheap Marcel is making for nothing.
For nothing?
Oui, I am finding the green rooster running loose. Presto, Marcel is cooking, making the sandwich.
A green rooster, Gad. I've just eaten Bolivar.
Why, it's impossible. How could you eat a parrot?
But I did, I tell you.
This is terrible. Are you sure, F.A.?
I'm positive, Gad. I feel indigestion coming on. I want to see John L. Lewis. Say, Larry, will you read a letter for me?
Well, I'll be glad to, Fred. What's it about?
Well, this is National Fire Defense Week, Larry, and Mayor LaGuardia promised to come over tonight and say a few words to the Fire Chiefs of America.
Yes?
But the mayor is busy these days as director of the Office of Civil Defense, and this afternoon found that the pressure of business would keep him from joining us. So instead, he sent this letter, if you'll be kind enough to read it.
Surely, Fred. I quote, "My dear Fred, I'm sorry I can't be with you on the celebration of the 75th anniversary of the National Board of Fire Underwriters in this country. I had hoped to join, but it so happens that I've been assigned to duties which will take me away from New York on Wednesday night. Please give my greetings and extend my best wishes to the fire chiefs who, in addition to their normal duties, now have a real big job on their hands. Every fire chief should prepare and train an auxiliary force from double to 6 times his present force, according to the particular strategic location of his city or territory. I expect to give specific recommendations to them real soon. As ever, I know our fire departments will be ready to respond. It may be a 1-alarm fire, it may be a 5th alarm, or it may be a 10th. Let the whole world know we are ready. Hoping to see you soon, I am sincerely yours, signed F. LaGuardia, Mayor." End of quotation.
I would like to thank Mayor LaGuardia for his kindness and to congratulate the Fire Chiefs of America on the excellent work they are doing to safeguard the lives and property of the citizens in their communities. And thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, next Wednesday night, we'll have Leo DeRocha, manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers. This is Fred Allen saying good night for the more than 45,000 Texaco dealers from coast to coast and inviting you to drive in anytime. Remember, you're welcome.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Stay tuned next for I Want to Come Back.
A new feature in radio. A public welfare service to the nation. Lifebuoy Soap presents... I Want to Come Back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Harlan Dunning speaking. We are broadcasting from within the walls of San Quentin Prison, located in California on the northern shores of San Francisco Bay. Through the gates of this prison, a small group of men hope soon to pass, returning to the world they once lost. Your world and mine. One fervent prayer is on their lips, a prayer that someone, somewhere in this great land will give them a steady job. Their fate is in your hands, Mr. and Mrs. America, for they have already proven their integrity to the prison authorities, and the State Parole Board has agreed their parole. But these men cannot get that parole unless a job is waiting for them. And so tonight, Lever Brothers, who have given you Lifebuoy, the world's finest health soap, are happy and proud to come forward once again and, as a national public welfare service, present these men to you that you may hear from their own lips the true life story of their mistakes, that you may learn of their rehabilitation and their real character. And we sincerely hope there will be many among you who will find it in your heart to join in this great work and give these men a steady job and their real chance to come back. And now, before presenting Warden Clayton Donahue of San Quentin, listen. The San Quentin Prison Orchestra playing Say When. It now affords me great pleasure to bring to the microphone the man who has, in the short space of a year's time, completely revolutionized the modern-day theories for operation of penal institutions. A man whose plans have done away with the prison riots, supplanted hatred with friendship, and changed irony to industry. Warden Creighton T. Donahue of San Quentin Penitentiary. Good evening, Warden.
Thank you, Mr. Dunning, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Warden Donahue, there's been quite a wave of public discussion since this program took to the air. One question in particular has been raised, and that is the advisability of publicizing the fact that a man with a prison record is seeking to place himself again in the ranks of the American public.
I'm very glad you brought this up. In the first place, the majority of people have a very distorted idea of what the word parole convict or ex-convict really means. The mere mention of these words invariably strikes fear and abhorrence in the minds of most people. They visualize some ruthless character whose every thought, waking or sleeping, is to kill, rob, or otherwise destroy. Well, yes, I know what you're thinking. And there are cases with big shot or gunman complexes. But they represent only a small percentage of the convicted men throughout the country. And don't forget for one single moment that such types will never be allowed on this program. By far, the greatest majority of convicts are paying for crimes which were the result of dictates of a momentarily sick mind. And, in many instances, we might all of us well say, but for the grace of God, there stand I.
Well, Warden Donahue, by that do you mean to infer that many of the prisoners are not really deserving of punishment?
Nothing of the sort. Each man here is definitely in need of discipline, and he gets it. Then when he's had the fact burned indelibly into his mind that he's no privileged character, that his responsibility to his fellow man is just as great as anyone else's, that man is entitled to return to everyday life.
And the chances are he'll be a better citizen than a lot of us who have never gotten into trouble.
Right. Nobody has to tell him what will happen if he doesn't respect other people's rights. He knows from personal experience. And that's our purpose, straightening men out and getting them back into useful life. But not until they're ready.
Well, how do you get these men ready, as you put it?
By making available to those who need it and have earned it, educational training. All courses from high school through college. For those who prefer it, vocational training in practically all fields. And then, of course, recreation plays a large part. All forms of athletics and talent activities. You've just heard our orchestra. Listen to our quartet singing In the Evening by the Moonlight.
Warden, those men sang like their very hearts were in it.
Yes, Mr. Dunning. They've been looking forward to this broadcast ever since you gave us this date to appear. This is really an occasion.
Well, don't forget that it's an occasion for Lever Brothers, too. As a matter of fact, this series of broadcasts adds a new meaning to the word Lifebuoy. Not only is Lifebuoy the world's finest health soap, but the response of the American public in purchasing it makes it possible for Lever Brothers to create a real Lifebuoy for the help of men and women about to re-enter public life. And that brings us to the most important part of this broadcast. Warden Donahue, as I understand it, there are men eligible to leave San Quentin on parole at this time, providing they can get a job. Is that correct?
It is.
All right, then, let's get down to cases. We will interview as many of these men as our time permits. Will you please bring the first candidate to the microphone?
With pleasure. Harold Walters.
Yes, sir?
Step forward, please. This chap has served only 3 years and 7 months of his sentence. He's been a model prisoner and really earned his right to parole. Harold, this is an unusual way to try and get out of prison, isn't it? Going on a nationwide broadcast.
It certainly is, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Well, Harold, it's the purpose of our sponsor to help you and the rest of the parole candidates here to find steady employment. Will you please describe yourself to the air audience and also give a little of your history and qualifications?
Yes, Mr. Dunning. My name's Harold Andrew Walters. I'm 33 years of age. I weigh 170 pounds, and I'm 5 feet 10 inches tall.
Any relatives?
Yes, sir, a wife and a small son.
Where are they?
They're living in Oregon at present.
Well, do they plan to rejoin you when you're released?
Yes, sir. They've been down to visit me every month.
Well, what offense were you committed?
Embezzlement. I worked for a finance company and used some of their money to play the stock market on the side.
And it didn't work?
I'll say it didn't work.
Well, candidly speaking, that's not an awfully good background to paint when you're trying to interest someone in giving you a new job.
Mr. Dunning, after what I've been through, disgrace for my family and me, loss of what little we did have of our own, and almost 4 years of imprisonment, there isn't enough money in the world to justify it. All I want is another chance. You won't have to worry about me ever.
I think you can rely on him, Mr. Dunning. Well, you certainly ought to know, Warden, if anyone does. Harold, here's a check for $25 you can really call your own. It's a paycheck from Lever Brothers for appearing on this broadcast.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dunning.
So there you are, Mr. and Mrs. Public. Harold Andrew Walters stands before you. A high school and business college graduate, a fine record of behavior while paying his penalty in San Quentin, and a family waiting for his release. His hand is outstretched to you, asking for a chance to come back. It's our hope that before this broadcast is finished, some gracious American firms will have telegraphed offers to give him and the other parole candidates a position. No names will be announced. Offers will be held strictly confidential, and all negotiations will be handled by the official parole board. And now then, Warden Donahue, before interviewing our next candidate, how about the music?
Fine. The orchestra's all ready, and here's one of the boys to sing Pete the Piper.
When he plays a song, the
it will never fail him. They sing the song along with Pete the Piper. People gather round when they hear the sound of the camels are coming. Hooray, hooray, when their lively feet catch the piper's beat. They start to sway, and then it isn't long till all the folks are dancing. Their hearts are gay when he will play them a song. When he's done all that, they pat the hat will fascinate Pete the Piper man.
Talent over here, Warden. And now, who's our next parole candidate? Will you bring him to the microphone, please?
He's already at the microphone.
He is? Why? Just a moment. You don't mean this chap that just sang?
That's the one. Parole candidate Lester Hawkins.
Well, I am surprised. Lester, with a voice like that, you certainly are a shining example of the traditional bird in a gilded cage.
I guess you're right, Mr. Dunning.
Only this time the cage hasn't been gilded, has it?
No, sir. And this bird is a little tarnished himself.
Well, I see what you mean, Lester. Well, just how bad is that tarnish?
Mr. Dunning, what little there is will soon come off when he's able to rub shoulders with the outside world again.
Well, that's exactly what Lever Brothers have sent us here for, to do a little cleansing work. Lifebuoy soap does the trick for our bodies, and now this program for our people's lives. Lester, let's have your story.
I'm 38 years old, 6 feet tall, and I weigh 180 pounds.
Family?
None now. My mother died just before I was sent here 2 years ago.
Oh, that's too bad. What charge were you convicted on?
Receiving and selling stolen property. I had an auto wrecking business down south in the city.
No specific names or locations, please. We reserve that information for only your next employer.
I see, sir. Thank you. Anyhow, things were going along pretty fair when a couple of guys started coming in every few days with used parts, accessories, and radios, and selling them awfully cheap to me. I figured there was something funny going on, but with the prices I got the stuff for, I was cleaning up, and after a while I got so I didn't care. Finally, one of them got caught, confessed, and then the police picked up the whole gang.
And you were the fence for the deal?
That's right. The police pulled me in a week later.
Well, what about your auto wrecking business?
By the time the insurance companies got through reclaiming stolen parts, there wasn't any business.
Well, when you are released, Lester, it doesn't take, it does rather take capital to operate a wrecking business. You're in no position to manage that.
Mr. Dunning, the mere sight of even a hubcap sends chills up and down my back. I couldn't go into that business again. Those nights of restlessness, wondering whether the cops were coming in the next morning, finagling the books to try and cover up and all that. It's not worth it. Money can buy some things, but it can't buy peace of mind when you're doing wrong.
Well, what kind of work can you do other than that?
Mr. Dunning, I personally recommend him very highly as a physical culture trainer. He's assisted in our athletic program for the past year and a half and has done a fine job at conditioning the men for various sports.
I'd like very much to go in for that work, Mr. Dunning. You know, one of those athletic clubs where they have massage rooms and weightlifting and that sort of thing. I've reconditioned myself, physically as well as mentally, and I'd like to help others.
Hawkins is a good man. He has a fine record and needs outside help now. He has no relatives to help get him work, and we don't like to hold up paroles for such men.
And without a job, Warden, a satisfactory one from the standpoint of the parole board, he'll have to stay here for the full term, good behavior or not?
That's it.
Well, doesn't that tend to sour a man after he's tried to make amends?
It's bound to. Not that they'll necessarily go back to crime, but it does take the heart out of them.
Well, Lester Hawkins, here's your $25 paycheck from Lever Brothers that should make your heart feel good. And now, here goes the call for work somewhere for Lester Hawkins. good at physical culture training, and glad to get any kind of honest work approved by the parole board. Mr. and Mrs. America, there's a telegraph office near you. Let's have those wires. And remember, all communications will be kept strictly confidential. Well, music, maestro. The San Quentin Quartet once again.
Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, Sunday morning, Sunday, what's that? Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, Sunday morning, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3 little there's 4, there's 5, there's 6 little there's 7, there's 8, there's 9 little there's 10 little ladies in the band. Tell me what's that? Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, Sunday morning, band. There's 11, there's 12, there's 30 ladies, there's 14, 15, 16 ladies, there's 17, 18, 19 ladies, there's 20 little ladies in the band. Tell me what's that? Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, Sunday morning, band. 21, 22, 23, the ladies, 24, 25, 26, the ladies, 27, 28, 29, the ladies, there's 30 little ladies in the band. Tell me what's that? Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, Sunday morning, band. Tell me what's that? Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, what's that? Sunday morning, Sunday morning, band.
Warden Donahue, in our last interview, Lester Hawkins referred to the vocational training he'd received here. I think our air audience would like to know more about his work.
Our next parole candidate, Mr. Dunning, will have something to say along that line. George Winters.
Yes, sir.
Please step over here.
Good evening, George.
Good evening, Mr. Dunning.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's a fine-looking chap. I'd say about 28 years old, 5 foot 10 inches tall, weight about 160 pounds. How close is that, George?
Well, just about right on the height and weight, but I'm only 26, sir.
Well, why were you sent here?
Manslaughter.
Manslaughter?
Yes, sir. I was one of those wise guys that thought it was smart to get tight. And I kept on until I drank myself out of my job and finally lost my wife and my home. Well, one night when I was really liquored up, I smashed into another car and killed 2 people. If you don't mind, Mr. Dunning, I'd rather not talk about it anymore.
Well, I can understand how you feel.
I was a wreck when they sent me up here. None of my family came near me during the trial, and I just didn't care whether I lived or died.
Yes?
Well, finally, after about 6 months, my wife wrote to me. And she brought my father and my mother to visit me, and that's when my whole outlook sort of changed. I made up my mind that with them sticking by me, I'd be man enough to try and amount to something.
What did you do?
I began to study.
Study?
Yes, sir. They gave me my choice of courses, carpentering, machine shop, welding, practically all of the trades. Oh, any business even if I wanted it.
Well, what did you select?
Public accounting, and it's turned out fine. For the past 2 years, they've had me in the administration office handling most of the detail work.
And I'd like to assure you, Mr. Dunning, he's done an excellent job of it.
All right, George. Here's your $25 paycheck from Lever Brothers. You can use it as an opening entry in your own book.
I'll be mighty glad to open those books. Thank you, Mr. Dunning.
Warden Donahue, I'm afraid time will not permit any more interviews, but here are 5 more checks for $25 each, made out in the names of Thomas Jordan, Sylvan Thompson, James Sullivan, Richard Jennings, and Lawrence Rhodes. Now, all of these men have equally fine records of rehabilitation and are with us here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, these men came to prison to pay penalties for crimes against society. Crimes they would never have committed had they been given the right kind of training in earlier life. A training they have now voluntarily sought and received because they so desperately want to come back. This time as useful American citizens. Now, Warden, I feel the people of this country owe you and your board of prison directors a huge debt of gratitude for the magnificent work you have accomplished here at San Quentin. Tranquility where unrest once reigned. Intelligence where indifference prevailed. You men have worked hard, and to see standing before you such a fine group of parole candidates, salvaged from broken minds and spirits, must make you feel very proud.
Not proud, Mr. Dunning. Grateful. grateful for the opportunity to extend a helping hand to other human beings who deserve it and who are to be less fortunate than others.
Mr. Dunning, here's a message for you.
Oh, thank you. Warden Donahue, this is a notice from the switchboard. We've already received 120 telegrams from American firms willing to consider employing some of these men, and more wires are still pouring in.
That is grand news. We'll have the State Parole Board contact these firms immediately and go into details with them.
This really calls for music. Let's hear from the San Quentin Orchestra once again.
Numbers I've got more than dozens, everyone's uncle and cousin, but I can't live without buzzing. I've got a sweetie I know there, someone who sets me afloat there, gives me the sweetest little flow there. We never say, how are you, and seldom say, what's new. Instead we start and then we close with baby confidentially, I love you. Maybe it sounds a bit funny when I'm away from my honey. Here's what I do with my money.
Warden Donahue, on behalf of Lever Brothers, makers of Lifebuoy Health Soap, I want to thank you for permitting us to present this broadcast from San Quentin Penitentiary, for allowing us to join with you and your associates in this noble task of rehabilitation, so vital to the welfare of Americans everywhere. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, comes our call to you for these men who want to come back. A telegram or letter addressed to Warden Donahue of San Quentin Penitentiary stating your willingness to consider the employment of one of these parole candidates will be treated with the utmost privacy, and the State Parole Board will contact you further on the matter.
Mr. Dunning, I've just been handed a wire from the governor. It reads as follows. Warden Clayton Donahue, San Quentin Prison. Permit me to offer my congratulations for the glorious work of rehabilitation you are accomplishing, and for which the radio program, I Want to Come Back, marks the crowning achievement. Signed, Claude Osborne, Governor, State of California.
The Lifebuoy program, I Want to Come Back, has come to you from San Quentin Penitentiary, the state prison of California. Join us again next week at this same hour when we will continue our program of this public welfare service to our nation from the Washington State Prison in Walla Walla. Harlan Dunning speaking and bidding you good night for Lever Brothers. This is the Consolidated Broadcasting System.
Well, that's the way it was on May 28th, 1941. My name is Henry Chop, your host. I am your time traveler. I love taking you on these journeys. And if you love taking these journeys, please subscribe to this channel. Click that bell icon. You will get notifications when a new upload will premiere. And also, if you expand the description section to this video, you will see a couple links. One link is to GoFundMe, the other link is to PayPal. We do not make any money from any ads that you may see on this channel, so please donate to us, help keep us going, help motivate us to keep these nightly uploads, keep these nightly uploads going. I don't make any money from doing this itself other than what I get from the kindness of your hearts. I do all of this out of pocket and for the love of it. I just love sharing these vintage radio programs with you, journeying through the World War II years, hearing things as they happen. So once again, there is a GoFundMe and a PayPal link in the description section to this video. If the GoFundMe link is obsolete, check a later video, a later dated video, or the channel description, and you will have an updated GoFundMe link. Thank you very much in advance. All right, let me tell you what we are going to listen to tomorrow night. We are going to start things off with the news of the world. Then we have some daytime programs. We have Against the Storm and the Goldbergs, a couple soap operas. Then after that, we have an interesting program. It's simply called a safety program. And it is an interview with Edsel Ford about safe driving. It was a locally produced program. And then we have Lum and Abner, Speaking of Liberty, and the Craft Music Hall with Bing Crosby, a good hour-long Craft Music Hall program. So some great stuff for a Thursday night tomorrow night. Please come back, give it a listen. You will enjoy it for sure. Until then, my name is Henry Chop, your host. Let's turn off this old tube radio. That's our time machine. Good night. God bless.
This changing world, this changing scene, where is it taking us? What does it mean? As long as we're certain of each other, we know we don't have to be afraid. These changing times we rise above. We have no time for them. We have our love, and love is the only thing that still remains the same through all this change.